Australia.
Moving versus moving.
Round 1, so didn't miss anything yet.
No. But yeah, worth mentioning, both are moving players. They do prefer the moving mode.
Yeah, Feneb more so than Kratsooo probably at this stage. I think Kratsooo definitely switched his focus to the other modes.
And you can already tell by the way they play, they check those texts on the bollards here. That's something you always do as a moving player. I think a lot of players in the competition would just fast move it out of this way.
Yeah, although it has to be said, some people agree to not use fast moving against people from Australia or from Asia
It
general.
seems like that's the case here because Kratsooo
Yeah.
could in theory fast move, but they did agree to play it out fair.
He found a
both do
kanji here
slow
on the
move.
state route, so if he
It's
learned them,
very hard to read. It's very hard to read.
let's see if Feneb can do it. If anyone can do it, it's Feneb. And he seems to know it's Gunma. Maybe it is.
Yeah.
Now he's looking for the 3-5-3, and he found a 3-5-3.
He has the road. Kratsooo is in Kyushu though.
It's gonna be massive points. Second round.
1.5 is enough to put him down to half HP already in round 2.
Yeah, as we just saw, impressive. Using off the knowledge. Probably Feneb can't read normal kanji, but you just learn the prefecture, how they look, and you just remember how they look. You can't really read the letters.
Definitely.
It's pretty funny. But yeah, that's just things you have
shout
to
out
do,
to
you
him.
know? It's just things you have to learn if you want to be very good.
Yeah, and we did have a couple partner on spawn here. I think it said Riao. It was a very short word, I couldn't make it out. So, could have said Riao, they are both in Riao.
Yeah, Kratsooo looks very committed. Looks like he found some type of town or something.
On the right side.
Feneb not happy. 250 points, come on. Come on, buddy. It's not the end of the world. You're up a lot.
And we go over to the next round, which should just be La Paz, I would assume.
There's
a big city. We should be in Bolivia. We have a flag. We have those brick buildings. We have the white Google car. Big city. I'm actually not so sure anymore, but yeah, I think Sucre makes more sense now.
Yeah, Feneb tried to read the sign. Now he's zooming into Potosí or Sucre. Makes sense.
We don't really have the mountains you would get in La Paz.
And the grid lines up,
And
so maybe he
Oruro
likes
would
that.
also be too dry, and this is green enough to be there. Both end up in Sucre with their guesses. And that will be only 8 points.
He's almost falling asleep over there. Or maybe he's just very concentrated.
Yeah, trying to get locked in. We have this camera quality you get in Finland from time to time.
Yeah, the only country in Europe with this camera quality. But now we moved on to Gen 2 with snow coverage, which was a meta for Oulu in the northwest.
Yeah, very common in south of Oulu, the snow coverage. However, I think you also have it in more places. Therefore, you can't really just rely on that.
But I don't know, I kind of like the guess just because I don't have anything else to work with here.
Yeah, I don't know what they are trying to find. Probably the end of the road to get a town sign.
Yeah, Kratsooo
Maybe,
definitely
or like-
not using fast movement to be a fair sportsman here, has to be said. Will somebody send Oulu though? Or south of Oulu, as you said, that's where usually the most coverage is. So far not, but as you said, it's everywhere pretty much. And yeah,
There's
that
a
would
couple clusters.
have been a terrible guess in terms of Finland.
Yeah, there's not a lot really you can work with in Finland. In Sweden you have stuff like bus stops where you try to find a bus stop on your way, which can be regional or something like that. However, in Finland it's only really either the coverage you can know or town signs.
Or maybe how
And
tall the
road
trees
numbers,
are.
of course.
That's also...
Or that. I mean, it was pretty high trees.
That is true.
And we are in the United Kingdom here. We are driving on the left. Have the signs pointing
we had an
towards the
antenna there,
left.
which is very common in Scotland.
Yep.
In southern
The
Scotland.
Scotland one. There are a couple more areas with this antenna now, but with the looks, I agree. It kind of looks a bit more northern. I would trust it. I would probably, at this point, send it down.
But
with
I
the
think
hope.
it was only seeable for a very short amount of time, or visible, I should say.
I full trust you on that one.
So maybe it was shit so, but I think we're in southwestern Scotland, and he's considering Northern Ireland though.
Dumfries guess makes a lot of sense to me.
Agreed. And it is southwestern Scotland. The antenna does not lie, in fact.
Yeah, area around Dumfries, pretty much most of it towards the west, does have this antenna on the car. That's also something the pro players have to learn. Some car-specific stuff, and we have a very interesting mountain here.
Yeah, we're gonna be in Oman here, I think.
It's a very spiky, single-standing mountain. Could be recognizable, maybe.
Yeah, maybe they should have taken that mountain and just shape it out for the pyramid. Why did they build an entire pyramid on a flat area? I mean, it was aliens, so we all know that, right?
What if they all are based on mountains like this?
Could be.
Could be.
As to where this is,
However,
Oman, I've no
Oman,
clue.
not something players really have practice on, because it's fairly new coverage, only came out like maybe a month or two ago. So let's see what they can make out of this one.
Yeah, both of them
They're
trying
both
to
in
find something.
similar regions though.
Yeah, they are
So
very close.
this will not be any point at all. However, we have Feneb. Almost on point, 4997.
Yeah, Kratsooo can be happy he got this close.
Guess.
28 kilometers is a pretty good guess considering he didn't find anything really and couldn't scan the right valley.
Yeah,
So-
the right region guess was crucial there for him to stay healthy enough to play out this moving game on the last.
And it says Russe,
Three rounds.
Oblast Russe. That's a very good information by Feneb. We're on the river. Very hard round to get maybe if you don't see the sign. We could see the game even because 4.5 multiplier, but maybe he gets the river angle and knows, wow,
Yes, he does.
river was quite big. Not that many rivers in Bulgaria, to be fair. That
He's not 100% certain, but with the alignment, he thought that makes sense. You could see him zooming out. That's what players usually do to find other angles that make sense, where the river goes along the northeast, next to a big city, and he couldn't spot any else, so...
Yeah, if we weren't
well
underwater,
done.
that could have been even
Yeah.
more points.
Definitely.
But yeah, nice
We have
usage.
Bangladesh again. I can't read it. It's pretty bad quality.
It said something there.
Something with T or P. Oh,
Can't read that. Does it really say Bogura?
does it? I don't think so.
Well, that's where Feneb guessed.
Bogura or Camilla? Could say Bogura. I mean, the second letter is a gu, so it has something with...
And I saw Kratsooo pinging there last second, so he was about to switch, and we will see the game. Kratsooo will not be happy.
That is actually the game. If you look at this location, it's right on the border, all the way out, so even a middle guess doesn't really make you survive this round.
Yeah, we saw the pings there. That's always very fun to see for us, because we know that, okay, he wanted to switch in the last second, and he was right there with Feneb, and he would have stayed alive for the final round, but now he's 0-1 down to Feneb.
Yep, that is very unlucky. And as you said, it's actually quite nice to see, because people tend to say, I was about to, I wanted to, I swear I guessed. And it's always a bit hard to believe people, but we clearly saw he tried to change his guess. But now starting off in what seems to be his home country, France.
We have a Belgium guess.
However, Feneb is going Belgium. He thinks it looks off, but it indeed was France. Also a pretty nice region guess from Kratsooo there. It wasn't the easiest one to make a good region guess on.
Yeah, it just looked very flat to me, so not sure how you guessed that, but
Yep.
and we have some national park coverage from Kenya with the snorkel, of course. think it's one of those like southeast of Nairobi, but I don't know the name of.
It makes sense with the landscape. The soil looks a bit more sandy, a bit more gravelly, a bit more sandy. That's something you see more in the east rather than in the west. In the west it gets a bit more red. And towards Mombasa it gets a bit more sandy and gravelly.
Yeah, Feneb.
So yeah,
very different
we
guess, I
both end
think.
up in a national park. He is on a road that does have this road alignment, but Kratsooo is actually in the right park. That's good points. That's good points.
Yeah, he's off to a great start here, but
Kenya standards in round 2.
yeah, off to a great start here. 2 very impressive guesses, Feneb.
Yeah, and we are right back.
Yeah, Feneb zooming in very far here. Whoa. Did he spot some water there? Because I think he has. Why else would you zoom in this far?
Yeah, maybe? I don't see it.
Maybe it's south.
Oh, there's water. There's
That's
water.
north,
Yeah.
okay.
There's a big body of water, so that makes a lot of sense. I don't think you have any other big lake in Kenya with the size.
There are some smaller lakes in the middle, but usually you see the land on the other side, so definitely should be somewhere here. I like Kratsoo's
see
guess,
it.
given how flat it is.
Yep.
Okay, does that island have coverage? I don't think so.
I am not sure about that
Whoa.
one, but it doesn't matter. He's still closer.
Wait,
And it actually is on an island, I think.
what is that? I've never seen a location there. What even is
It looks like it's surrounded by a body of water.
Okay, I have to check on the map real
Quite
quick where
sad
that is.
we don't see a zoom in on the locations.
It is just a peninsula. That is very interesting.
Oh, it was a peninsula. Okay, that also makes sense.
Insta
And
guess, just a free
we have
Yucatan.
those rock walls, yeah. Vegetation is very distinct in this region around Yucatan and Quintana Roo.
Yeah, Yucatan stopped being Beatty in about 2022. People get it every single time. Before that,
Yeah.
it was maybe like kind of hard, but it's very recognizable these days.
Yeah, definitely an area of the world you can get just by given the looks.
And this looks very similar to the round we saw in Armani and Spaghetti's game, where it ended up being
Yeah.
very north. It almost looked like the same road, but
Agree, but this time we don't really have any banana. We don't have any palm trees. So in those terms, it's different, but the landscape overall looks the same.
yeah,
Therefore, I'm a bit confused. I like Bohol, actually.
very interesting, like slightly mountainous, very dry. Will it be north again? And both players right now are not in the north.
Yeah, I really like the Bohol guess, and they are both hedging towards it. I can see that.
Will somebody switch in the last seconds? We will see. But seems like both of them are happy with their
3,
guesses.
1, and they leave it there. And it actually
It was
is
Somba.
nuisance. Wow.
That's why we had the weird pavement, not like the like the concrete
Maybe also
slabs.
explains the lack of palm trees and bananas, maybe?
Interesting.
I don't know.
I did consider Indonesia for a second, but then I thought, yeah, this looks like the exact same round we had earlier.
To me, the pavement was very off for Philippines. We didn't have the concrete slabs. We had like this pavement you get in Indonesia, but everything else did not look like it to me.
Yeah, because usually in Philippines it's either concrete or it's usually just not paved. Unpaved roads are a big matter for Philippines, just like rocky gravel roads.
And on this round we are, seems like Italy. We have a lot of wineries, and they both consider the southern region. Makes a lot of sense because it's super flat. Inland you get more mountains in Italy. And it was the coast of Sicily.
That is a very hard round to get. Sicily usually a bit more mountainous, but we're just on the very, very flat part in the west.
Yep.
Usually you have some type of elevation even on the coast in Sicily.
I do agree. We have a C-type antenna here, which you find around Moscow.
Do we have a state flag or a
Mostly.
oblast flag here, maybe? I don't see the flag. No, none of them are looking at it, really. But it doesn't look like the Russia flag, right?
No. Is it the Tatarstan flag?
I'm
No.
not sure. Maybe it's just...
I think it's just a washed out Russian flag.
Okay, maybe, yeah. It almost looked green to me for some reason.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, it kind of looks like we have green blur here. Maybe it's the camera setting that makes it looks a bit overexposed.
I think,
But yeah,
I think
as I said, we
somebody
have
in
the
chat
C-type
will know.
antenna, and we have the guess around Moscow here from Kratsooo. But both guesses do make sense for the C-type antenna here. Let's see on which side it is. And it was on Kratsoo's side. He is very close in the right oblast.
Maybe it was a flag.
Almost game.
Who knows, really? Is that for Lokta?
almost game.
Oblast? Not really
I
sure.
think it was in Bologna.
Or Yaroslav, I'm not sure.
And yeah, we have this very lush green vegetation with a black car in Argentina. Does make a lot of sense for the northern states, or provinces I should say, for Argentina.
Yeah,
See it in Formosa,
with the road angle, I want to
Corrientes.
say it's more Formosa, but it could still be.
Yeah, as we see, Kratsooo is on a road.
I mean, he's lining it up right now.
Kind of lines up, but we are on a curve. You have to consider that. Like right to the south, we do
And
change
Feneb is
directions.
guessing Paraguay right now. Funnily enough, he's right in between the two regions I mentioned. He's also considering Corrientes and
You
Formosa.
cannot do that with 530 elf.
I would agree. It's kind of wasted because you have to kind of commit one of the two.
It can still pay out. If, let's say, it is Corrientes and Kratsooo goes for Formosa, then he will be closer. Or the other way around. But, yeah. Let's see. In this case, if it is Formosa, then it did pay off. And it's Uruguay.
And it's Uruguay. That is funny. Well, he almost survived by going Paraguay.
That is the win for Kratsooo.
Yeah,
Very interesting.
especially in that region of Uruguay. Usually if it's hilly like that, you usually consider more the southern parts. But there are some hills in the east as well. Crazy
We
around
had
there.
this Uruguay cam, to be fair. But that's something you realize in hindsight.
Yeah, in
People
hindsight,
are gonna
yes.
say, how did they not get it? It's Uruguay camera. That's easy to say. But it did look a lot like Argentina.
Well, evening out the game, 1-1. NPZ,
Yep.
no more looking around for those two fellas.
Nope. And we start off in a fairly big country. It should be Russia, I feel like.
Both in Ukraine right now, though.
Bollard.
No. Only Feneb in Ukraine.
Yeah, the Bollard looks more Russian to me. I'm not sure. Do we have a poplar tree in the distance?
To me-
Because that's more common in Ukraine, I feel like.
Yeah, but it could also
But
be like
the road isn't
southern,
really red
southern
tinted
Russia,
and-
right? Because we don't have any birches,
yeah.
or maybe like Krasnodar.
The road doesn't look like Ukraine to me.
I
The
c-
season does.
I could see a southern Russia here, maybe Ukraine. Let's see where it ends up being.
Actually is. Yeah, the season did fit. I must say the road didn't look like Ukraine at all. Because usually you have either a worse condition of the road or you have a red tint on the road most of the times.
It
In Ukraine, that
can be
was
hard to
a bit
tell though,
rainy.
because we had some kind of overcast.
But yeah, poplar trees are way more common there, and the summer coverage as well. And we move over to this round. We have a single white line.
Interesting, because I was considering
interesting.
Indonesia.
Yeah, I agree with Indonesia here. Usually more yellow roads than white roads, I feel like, in Indonesia, but you can definitely also see white roads from time to time. And I think in Malaysia you wouldn't get a single white line.
The thing is, where do you guess in Indonesia here? Like, my vibe guess would be Kalimantan.
I'm going Java here.
Okay, I mean, we have... Is that a pine
I
tree?
have a
Maybe.
guess.
If that is a pine tree, it could be good. My vibe was
Because you
just
don't really have a
Kalimantan.
good clue for anything else. Therefore, I think Java makes sense.
Both are near Jakarta here, not
Yeah.
even hedging the middle of Java.
Let's see.
Wow,
Okay. Another
that is a bit of a
flag.
wild
What?
one.
That
Didn't
is
see a single
crazy.
palm tree there, right? Or like anything.
I don't know how to get that one. I don't know if
Maybe it's the
anyone
white
gets
line.
that one.
Who knows?
The white line is definitely in a lot of provinces, so it is definitely not some region-specific thing. However, here we are in India again.
But I can't see
The
language.
architecture looks like West Coast to me.
Yeah, it looks
I
like...
almost want to say it looks like Goa.
Yeah, it looks like Goa, Kerala, especially with all these palm trees. I can't see the language though, because if that is
No.
Marathi, then... Yeah, I kinda like Feneb's guess here.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, Kratsooo was on Rajasthan there for a second.
like
Got me scared.
Yeah, this shouldn't be Rajasthan, I don't think.
I don't think we're very far
anything
away from the
along
coast.
the west coast does make sense to me, or maybe even east coast.
Should be
But
west
I think
with
west
the car.
coast is more likely. Yeah,
Boxed car
especially with the
usually
car, yeah.
in the
Around
west, sorry.
Mumbai, around Goa, both make sense. And it was around Mumbai.
Very interesting to see that Kratsooo is not going on the coast, even though that looked like we're not even 1 kilometer away from the coast. Judging
Yeah,
by how
and
many
he
palm
was
trees.
very far west in the country, so at this point you can fully commit probably, but only a couple points he's missing there. We have a bollard here, so therefore it should be... Looks like the Hungarian one.
Well, I can't see the bollard really, but if both players zoom into Hungary, I will trust them.
Slovakia also has this one. There's a similar one in the Baltics, but yeah,
It
this should
looks like
be
Hungary, regardless.
Hungary, yeah. I agree. The vegetation fits, the road fits. And yeah, a random bollard right there also fits for Hungary.
Actually in the hilly part of Hungary.
Yeah,
Despite
very
not
close to the national park.
And we're already on 3x damage in NPZ. That can be massive, especially in a country like Brazil with the red soil, with the corn. I think we have.
It's very, very flat. So what does make sense here? Mato Grosso could make sense. Western Sao Paulo could make sense. I think... maybe was... I'm not sure.
Well, we don't have to make a good guess.
Do you
They have to
region in Goiás that are this flat?
in the east
Probably,
maybe,
because that's also something.
kind of very
I would
committed
probably
here.
click the tri-point between Mato Grosso, Sao Paulo and Goiás.
Yeah.
And that's where Kratsooo is.
Feneb is very risky there with Parana because it can't be really further south than that. But it pays
It was
off.
Mato Grosso, yeah. He is indeed getting closer, that's good points. Building up a good lead here.
Don't
Until
think.
we get around where they only have to get the right country.
Speaking of getting the right country,
This is one of them.
can you see that plate?
My very first thought was Latin America, but
Is it actually a Guat blur? It could be. The rest
yeah,
of the round
I thought
could be.
Guatemala, but
I really like Guat with the blur, so
yeah. Also the fact that it's panned to that direction.
don't really see Saba, but it looks weird, so and Saba can be very weird.
Yeah, I like both.
We will
guys,
see the
actually.
game
It doesn't really
regardless.
look like Guatemala to me, but no, it wasn't. Okay.
Wow, it is Saba and
20 kilometers as well.
17k
Not only that.
damage. Kratsooo taking it home.
I think